Go.
Alright, with the election being over, it's no longer time to shuck and jive. It's G.T.O podcast episode 25. What's up, Sam?
Yeah, nothing much.
Alright, before we start, can y'all share this with a friend? We got a Facebook, a Twitter, Instagram, all that BS. It's on the channel if you're interested at all. And before we get into stuff today, I want to read a poem that I made this morning about, well, you can interpret it whatever way you want, right? Whatever way you want. Let me see. I'll read it right here. Where did I put it?
That's a good question.
That is a great question. Oh, okay. All right. Be prepared to snap for this. All right. On this week we feel shame. We're all the ones deserving blame. In a country that is ran by fame, I guess it is not surprising for what has came. Even though our votes lost the game, may our cries for help not be in vain. Will our leaders bring us to great acclaim, or will they lead us down a road of pain? With the reason and to cry and reason to fret, hopefully soon we will forget the decision that we will regret. Prejudgment, I think we should refrain. He cannot throw it all down the drain. Hopefully in 4 years, we still remain. Now, I don't know, that could be about anything. I think that was about the All-Star game. How we keep voting for people and they're not getting in. I voted so many times for Zaza Pachulia last year. Anyway, so I've been looking around stuff to talk about this week, and there's nothing too much going crazy in gaming news. But I got one question to ask. Dishonored 2 came out. Did you play it yet? No time?
No, I don't have the money for it either.
That makes sense.
And I don't think my system could run it.
Yeah, that's right. We went over that last week. That was crazy specs. Anyways, so we're gonna, besides that, does have anything that came out besides a couple of trailers for the Assassin's Creed movie, which is whatever. You could be as hopeful as you want, but I'm still jaded about video game movies. I don't know about you, so whatever.
Yeah, it could go either way for me.
Trailer for a cinematic trailer for Mass Effect Andromeda came out, which is, you shouldn't put stock in a cinematic trailer because, I don't know, it's not gonna like that when the game comes out anyway. Trailer for We Are Chicago came out. I talked about this before, I think a while ago, but I'm excited to be a part of the hood. Are you want to be part of GRE? You could live on. You could see how everyone else. Where you got this privilege, this white privilege. Now you can see how the other side lives.
Yeah, I could, but I don't know if my white guilt could handle it.
Understood. Well, that's all the good gaming news I saw. So we're gonna talk about the games that we played this week. So what have you been playing this week, if anything?
Same as usual. Mountain Blade. Yeah, just that.
All right. I played. I'm playing Madden 25. You know my guy talking about Desmond Farrell. I remade him in Madden 25 because in this game you can't import him from Road to Glory like you could in the past games.
Yeah, because it's not the same. It's not the same year.
No, Madden 25 and NCAA 14 are the same.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I got rid of that. Anyway, so I just remade him, and he's basically a 99 because I brought his stats over from the other game, and he's been dominated. We went 16-0 for 2 seasons and won Super Bowl twice. And I'm already, according to like the legacy points, they have, I'm already the 11th best quarterback all time. So it's pretty cartoonish, but I don't feel bad though, because if I put it on all Madden, I'll be getting picked off all the time. I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't be fun at all. I'll be terrible then. Anyway, that's been pretty cool. I'm on my 3rd season now. But to challenge myself, I want to make every receiver be the top, to break the record for yards in the game and stuff like that. So Calvin Johnson got 400 receiving yards in the game. Yeah, it's pretty absurd.
Yeah.
I'm playing Pokemon Leaf Green, and I finally completed the Pokédex this morning. The last Pokemon I got was a Zero. I just hatched the egg this morning. And I started Pokemon Sapphire. And I wanted to get multiple Jirachis, so I thought I was going to buy the cartridge again, because I got the bonus disc on the GameCube and for Pokemon Coliseum, and it gives you a Jirachi for your cartridge. I thought I had to buy another one, but I just had to keep creating a new game because one person save game. So I just got a bunch of save games with a bunch of Jirachi. So if you want one, meet me in person. Yeah. Besides that, I wanted to play Skyrim this week, but I didn't have any time. So yeah. But like you said before the podcast, this week has been weird, to say the least. It was all fun and games going in Tuesday morning. But Tuesday night things got a little heated for some reason. The election happened and you woke up. So I'm just gonna ask you like this: how were you when you woke up? Were you staying up?
I didn't go to sleep until 2 a.m. I knew he was gonna win before I went to sleep, so I kind of got it all out.
All right. Wait. So I were you mad? Or how did you feel? What was your initial reaction to all this? Because I'm very interested in this.
I was upset that we let it get this far. But then I just kind of gave up because I totally understand how we let it get this far.
What do you mean?
Like, people... I wasn't surprised that people were okay with voting in this racist, misogynist D-bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want him to be there. But since he's there, just make the best of it.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta make the best of a bad situation and hope that the next election, 2020, we can at least get back some degree of not having an orange racist in the
orange racist
in the Oval Office.
But so were you crying over it or
no? I wasn't.
Were you just angry or
I was
disappointed?
I was just disappointed and then tired of it.
So when I woke up, I didn't stay up for the whole coverage. I woke up around 2:30, and I saw the presidential election and Trump won. I'm like, all right. I kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't want it to happen, but it happened. I accept it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's that big of a deal. Because the president never really has that much power.
But with a Republican Senate and House,
yeah, but
he could actually get more done.
He's so polarizing in a way.
No, he is, but it's just weird.
I mean, yeah, I guess he does have more potential in because he does have that Republican support. But I just don't see people really even Republicans supporting him to a point that he'll get. I don't know. I feel like we are overstating.
No, he's not going to get everything he wants done, but there's also a lot of stuff that we don't know what he wants to do. Because everybody says stuff to get elected, and he got elected. So he could completely change his mind on... Because his Muslim ban was taken off his website.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that was just a to get elected thing, and not a this is what I really want thing.
Well, can you tell me why people vote for him? Like you said before, he's misogynist and all that good stuff. He pretty much did every despicable thing in my eyes besides kill a man. He did everything you don't want a politician to do.
A person to do, really.
A person to do. He's saying terrible things. He's done terrible things. He's not the best businessman. He's just rich. There's not really any redeeming qualities besides money.
No, not even that.
I don't know. So I just was interested in why do you think people voted for him?
Because he speaks his mind and he represents change. Hillary was the establishment. If you look at how the DNC handled this election, they handled it so poorly. And I'm not just talking about screwing over Bernie, although that's a big part. They treated Trump like a joke, thinking they had this in the bag, when they very clearly did not. Because Trump got way more than... He got 20 more electoral votes than he needed.
Mm-hmm.
And if it were as close as they were thinking, or as leaning towards Hillary as they were thinking, it wouldn't have gone this way. But they handled it poorly.
I'm really disappointed. You think Bernie was there? You think he probably won, right?
I don't know. there's no point in. There's no point. It's just Trump won.
So I guess let's move on to looking forward then.
Yeah.
So he already appointed, I found really funny. He appointed somebody to be in charge of the EPA, and he does not believe in climate change. So that's great. That's a great omen to see what's coming. And also, all of his advisors, I think, are all white males, so keeping it diverse.
Well, he hasn't appointed anyone yet.
Not like appointment, like the...
Oh, like his campaign director and all that?
And it's his team or whatever, like, that's guiding him through, like, the transition process, I think it is. I forgot what
the transition team?
Yeah.
That's not all him, though.
It's not dictated by him?
A lot of that is who's already working at the White House in certain positions and who Trump wants to have in those same positions. So it's like half up to him and half what Obama's already staffed.
The most dangerous thing, though, is the Supreme Court, because like 4 of these people are going to die probably in the next 4 years. And the Supreme Court is
pretty big,
pretty powerful. It could change the way laws are enforced completely.
They could change what laws are enforced, if any laws are enforced.
I think to some extent it's more powerful than the president, because those people are going to be there for like 30 to 60 years depending on how old they are, and can potentially actually ruin the United States by being like way too conservative. I don't know. But why you think? What I want to get at is back to the stats and why people voted for him. Like 42% of women that could vote, that did vote, voted for him. Yeah. So what does that say about the women that voted? Like, are they just voting the party line? Are they actually just not listening to what he's actually saying? That's crazy to me.
Who knows? It could be that they didn't think Hillary was... Like, they wanted the first woman president, but they didn't want it to be Hillary. Or they didn't think what Trump said was all that bad because their husbands do the same. Their husbands, brothers, cousins, fathers say similar things. And so it's like, well, if they're saying that and they're not bad people, then Trump's not a bad person for doing the same things. I mean, I can't get into their minds, but they're probably not thinking it too clearly, at least compared to you and I.
Well, we weren't able to vote. I wasn't able to vote, so that sucked. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter anyway. We're in Louisiana. But another thing I want to get to, we don't have to monitor Trump's Twitter feed. I wonder how racist will he get? How like they had to just ban him from the internet completely while he's in office, right? Like he's such like
they took away his Twitter account like 2 days before his campaign team took away his Twitter. Day before the election. So,
but didn't he just tweet out something the other day about
No, I know they took it away the day of the election, but because the night of the election he was like, "I won fair and square, and these protesters are doing whatever." But then later he was like, "These protesters, you're empowering me. Good for you, exercising your right to protest." So there are two different people in Donald Trump's head.
How you feel on the protests though? Like white people, like spray and painting, like fuck white people. I think what's up with that? Like fuck ourselves.
Are white people spray painting that?
Yes, I mean white people are mad at themselves. I mean it's not just white people protesting, but a lot of protesters are white.
I don't know. Everybody's stupid because they don't realize that they're proving the other person right. All these rioters are proving Trump right that people of color are going to be violent and take things out of context. Like, if you're doing what Trump says you do, if he's making these blanket statements and then you live up to those, you're just proving him right and proving his supporters right. And you're not helping anybody, right? I mean,
I feel it's something I don't get here, like with politics in general. Like I feel like there's so many different levels of information, right?
Yeah.
There's so many things that I don't know, and what I don't even know what I don't know to some extent. Like
it's because you don't know it.
Well, yes, but sometimes like you know what you don't know. Like
but
most of these people, like I can't relate to them at all. Like, why are we so radical? I would never do this. Like I guess it goes back to just my personality. I'm never that passionate about one certain thing. I don't feel strongly enough.
And if I do, it's not something important like the presidential. Just let it go, people.
Well, what I find interesting though is that 3.5 years of every election cycle we don't care.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. That most people just don't care. And you get used, like any change that does happen, you're just going to acclimate yourself to it. And for the most part,
hopefully.
The poor people are going to stay poor and the middle class going to stay middle class for like the most part. Rich people are going to stay rich. There's not much changing that. Why do we try to live an illusion where we can all get this dream? I don't know. That's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. We all want to have power, and we think that having our candidate that we think is for us, like there's no such thing as really being for us.
Yeah, unless you yourself are running, no candidate is going to be for you.
Because at the end of the day, why would a rich person want anyone else to be rich? Why would I get social issues, like you gotta get those freedoms, but like at the end of the day, like we're coming closer to the end of like real like legal social issues. It's more like in practice stuff. So I'm I don't know. I don't see the need for this. You get my point? In that school, I want to bring it because this is what I really want to get to. Wednesday when we came back to school, there's this big backlash. Everyone was either like, a lot of people were mad. Some people were crying at school. Some teachers didn't come to school.
Was there anybody that was violently pro-Trump?
What?
Did you see anybody go out of their way to be like, Trump's in power, suck it?
I didn't, but they were like, I didn't see people. I don't think anyone was violently out, but people were. There like a few. I think a freshman said he was a supporter, and one person in one whatever class. It wasn't anyone that I knew, but there's very few, and that's what I want to get to. There's very few people that want to be vocally supporting this guy, and it's not even at school. Like you see it in sports as well. I noticed it this week with Bill Belichick. Even though, like, you could just tell he supports Trump because that letter that he sent him.
Allegedly.
I mean, he read it.
The Belichick letter was proven?
Oh, well, I didn't know it was contentious. I thought he said Donald Trump read it aloud or something like that.
Donald Trump can say he got a letter from anybody.
Oh, yeah, really. You're right.
I mean...
okay. But, I mean, him and Tom Brady probably do support him because you remember Tom Brady a couple months back was wearing that Make America Great Again thing.
Yeah, but Tom Brady is also a frippin' idiot.
Yeah. But anyways, like he doesn't want to be publicly pro-Trump. But like people like Stan Van Gundy, he was publicly like pro-Hillary and against Trump, and same with LeBron. Like everyone that's pro-Hillary and like
everyone that's vocal about it is pro-Hillary.
Yeah. But I don't see what's the like if we really want to support him and we would think he's the right guy, like at least half the country does. Like why can't he be vocal about it? Like what's wrong with those thoughts? Like what's wrong with being like anti-Muslim? If y'all all think that is right, like why aren't y'all vocal about it? Is my thing.
There are people that are very pro-Trump. I have a couple family members up in Backwater, Minnesota, which went Hillary. It voted for Hillary. So it's not like the whole state is racist, but it was pretty close. These people have been posting on Facebook, and like leading up to the election, they were like, okay, Trump's gonna win because Hillary's a crooked liar. Yeah, Trump's never lied. Businessmen don't lie. It's just a proven fact, right?
You just look at any one of his speeches, any one of the debates, he just probably lied at least 3 times. And
like at least 3 times a rally.
Yeah. But well, I'm not saying just because you voted for Trump doesn't mean that you're a racist or anything. Because I mean, people. Because I used to think this. Like, why would there ever be a black Republican, right? Why would there be that? Because they're the same type of people that are racist and all that. But no, that's not the case.
Yeah, not all Republicans are racist.
Because there's only like you might join a party just for one thing alone. You might have voted him for Trump because of
single issue voter.
Yeah, because of how he feels about abortion, or you don't believe in climate change, or maybe that you do want all the illegal Mexicans deported. Like you might just be on one issue. Or you might just vote for him because you think Hillary Clinton is inept.
That would be terrible.
You think like what's his name? Trump is still fertile.
I don't want to think about. I don't want to think about the Dongle.
Anyways, like, another thing that I noticed, Hillary Trump. I mean, I did it again. Hillary Clinton is not charismatic at all.
She's not.
So I think that's a big thing. We live in a world where we really like celebrities and stuff like that.
Like I don't support Trump, but at least I knew he was a human.
Yeah.
With Hillary, I couldn't tell sometimes that she was normal.
She's just so robotic, and I don't like watching her.
She's dabbing on Ellen, doing the mannequin challenge with. It's just, can you stop trying to connect to millennials through memes and stop the actual meme from becoming president? Can we do that?
Oh man, we're going all over the place. How do you feel about the what I just told you about the reaction at school? I thought it was ridiculous because I don't know.
I saw a lot of it like on Twitter and stuff. People were tweeting about it at 2 a.m. I'm scared, like, y'all mother effers gonna do this and that, and don't talk to me if you white and say you're a friend. It's like, not all white people voted for Trump, and not all white people that did vote for Trump are like Trump.
I'm gonna say most people that voted, most people that voted for Trump are not racist.
Yeah.
They might be a little bit misguided, or they might just execute what they think is American in a different way.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with respecting that view. I don't respect Trump. I'll say that, but I respect the people that voted for him.
I respect most of them.
Yeah.
Except for the ones that I've seen definitive proof of being that kind of person.
Yeah, we live in a society where you're innocent until proven guilty, and I think most of these people, like, for one thing, how can you be racist really when you haven't been exposed to another race? I feel like a lot of these white people don't live in any, like, most of the country is pretty much homogenous besides like the coastal cities.
Yeah,
when you really think of it.
Montana, Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota. The only other races you see are Native Americans probably, and there are only like 5 people that live in those states total.
Yes.
So.
And then you told me one time, like in Minnesota, like there was barely any.
Yeah, there aren't that many.
So there you go. It's white as snow.
Not compared to like down here or California or New York or anything.
And then
like
even down in the South, most of the like minorities, like Black and Hispanic and all those people, they're concentrated in 2 places in Louisiana, really. I guess like maybe other places, but they're small towns. Like there's a lot of white people that we notice every 4 years when the state goes red.
Yeah, and then like if you look at New Orleans, like the districts here, intensely blue.
Yeah, they draw them that way on purpose. If you look at the way it's drawn very awkwardly.
Gerrymandering is fun, right, guys?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, what am I trying to get at? I don't know. I just think this is all weird. We crying in class and whatever. Like, man, I wish I was that passionate about anything. I'll just get back to that. I wish I was passionate about something that hard that I would cry over it.
I don't even know if it's passionate about the presidential election. It's scared because they don't know what Trump's gonna do. They just know what they've heard people say he's gonna do, but nobody really knows what he's gonna do. Nobody knows what he's gonna have the power to do. Mm-hmm. And so to be so scared over something that hasn't happened yet is justifiable. Like, preemptive fear is what keeps us alive in a base sense.
Yeah. I guess I'm not scared because I didn't really like divulge too much in the media. Like, I didn't watch anything that wasn't the debates or like rallies or whatever. I didn't watch like interpretations of what's going on. Like,
yeah,
I'm not watching
debate recaps and stuff.
Yeah, because I'm not too interested in what other people do. Because like Trump and Hillary are spinning this stuff like already. They're already giving me enough rhetoric. I don't need like Fox News and CNN giving me all this stuff on top of it.
I don't need Wolf Blitzer interrupting every 3 seconds to be like, did you see the color of his tie and the way it shook in the wind? He's totally gonna lynch everybody.
I feel like you're not exaggerating there.
Probably
not. But teachers were very vocal as always. Like especially more, they're being vocal about. Yeah, I'm like they were scared as well, and like I think who was it? Batson, like he was visibly shook. I heard.
Yeah, he's very pro Hillary, and he's also pro safety and equality.
What do you mean by safety? Like police safety, or
no, like just like having a safe space for people to exist without fear of harm.
Okay.
And Trump, at least through the media, has not been portrayed as someone that would help that passion, that idea.
Mm-hmm. Man, you think that's weird when you think, oh yeah, I'm pro safety. Like that should never be a concern.
Everyone should be pro safety and pro equality.
Like who is combating that really? Like no, are we like actually like?
Apparently we are.
Because the way that you would see it, you would think half the country is racist if you're watching the news all the time.
Yeah, you would think more than half the country is racist.
Oh yeah. But I don't know. Oh, is the country really divided, or is that just the media spinning things?
I would say the country is divided. If you just look at the pure election results, like breaking it down by district and all that, there's definitely division in the country. If the country weren't divided, it would be 100% one candidate or the other.
I mean it's always divided because there's always like contention in the government, but the difference in we all trying to get the same thing, right? But I feel with this, we're not trying to get the same thing. Like the way we execute the economy, we want the same thing, right? I can agree with like in the past how we go about doing the bailout and trying to get the economy back together. Like you can either or with that. Do you want to bail the banks out or not? I get that, but like stuff like stop and frisk and private prisons, there's obviously things like that. Those two things don't go together. Like one is obviously a tool of racism or making money, and not having those things is one that ensures equality. And I feel like we coming. Are we just agreeing? Like are we just staying with the party lines with this one, or do we actually feel these things? I don't know. So a discussion arose because of like the backlash to us in our class or in our school.
Oh yeah, they had the 3 discussion spaces. There was Batson's room, the band room, and something else.
Well, I don't know.
Or was it all in the band room? I think it was all in the band room.
I don't know about that. I don't know what that is. You can tell me about that later.
Okay.
But what I was talking about in my AP government class, we were talking about ways to make this an environment to discuss all our viewpoints instead of just being homogeneously liberal, which the school is mostly liberal. Yeah. And like it's to the point that conservatives are scared to give their opinions. And I never noticed that.
Well, everybody's scared right now, and since a majority of the people are scared one way, the minority is going to be scared the other way because of how fear makes people react.
Well, I'm not talking about like scared of what the president's going to do.
No,
they're scared of giving, like even in the past they've been scared to give their opinion on something because it's not the popular opinion.
Yeah, I know.
But frankly, like if you think, it goes back to what I'm saying, like why can't we be vocal about problems? If we think we're right, why can't we be vocal? But I guess it's more relatable on this scale because people here, like, they're really dicks at this school. Like if you have a different opinion, they'll yell at you, berate you, call you racist. Like maybe I'm just pro-life, and I legitimately think that because like that's a legitimate like thing. There's no
most of Franklin is. Oh wait, no, they're pro-choice. Never mind.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, what do you think about that? Like, did you feel like it was a safe environment to be contrarian in the least?
I mean, the people I was around, I felt, well, because I agreed with most of them, and I didn't talk much, so those are 2 big factors that kind of take me out of this conversation.
Well, I mean, I'm not afraid to have the contrary opinion, but it's not really about social issues. It's mostly about economic issues. I feel that there should be no government regulations. I feel everyone should get taxed the same. I feel capitalism is something that is inherently unequal, so why even try to touch it? Because you're just putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. I say that all the time. And
got them Hello Kitty Band-Aids on a arm amputation?
Yes. And like, I feel like, what are we trying to go here? Like, if you want to go like, do you want everyone to be middle class, or most people be middle class? Like, the thing will balance itself out.
Hopefully.
I mean, besides like regulating monopolies, like we can't be having that because that just totally wrecks the country. But anyways, so the discussion led to what do we expected in terms of like political talk and opinions at school. Like, what's the environment, like what it should be like. And what I thought, like, this is a public school. You come here to learn. You don't come here to share your opinions. You don't come here to be validated in your opinions.
And if you do want to learn, your ideas should be challenged.
Yes, yeah.
To an extent, at least.
But I don't even think, like, you could have your ideas, whatever. You could leave your ideas at the door. That's what I say. You don't come here to teach other people. You come here to learn from. And even if your teacher is super liberal, or she's saying all this like BS in class, all this extra stuff in class that like she probably shouldn't be saying, you have to take that with a grain of salt. And you have to. It's like when you're reading an article, you have to take the writer's bias. So like if my teacher is like talking about like poo-pooing Trump and saying like he's racist and all that, like maybe I don't think he's racist, like I'm not gonna let my opinion change, and I'm not gonna like try to fight back on her because she is entrenched in her opinions. Like, it's not my place as a student of any like of high school or below. That's not my place. My place is to learn. She can say whatever she wants. At the end of the day, you're not changing what people think.
Yeah, let your opinions be changed by fact and fact alone, not other people's opinions.
And so what Mr. Gonzalez is aiming for, he wants everyone to share their opinions. Well, I think
it's not going to happen.
Well, why do we want that? Like in the classroom, you can control it. You can control it to an extent, but when you're outside of that, people are still going to be polarized. And what he's getting at is an American culture issue. When you go like what we're saying, I guess this is like, I haven't been alive that long. I admit, I'm only 17, but I'm willing to say this has been really the country has been divided for like a long time.
At least the most visibly, yeah.
I mean, it's nothing like the Civil War when we were killing each other, or
not yet,
or slavery or anything. But I'm saying it's pretty strong. It's like it's been like the last, I guess, since the Vietnam War, let's say. And like depending on, like, it's just ingrained in the culture. Like, we gotta be so polarized, so entrenched on each side instead of being more in the middle. To be completely honest, we probably need to be more in the middle. 'Cause that's probably the best way to go about things instead of just letting one side win every 4 years. Like, we need a guy that maybe like a McCain, let's say. Like, he's more in the middle. People like that. I don't know. Like, and it needs to be ingrained, like the culture thing I'm talking about, at an early age. Like being open to other people's opinions. So, in one class, it's like we got a new teacher this year. I think his name is Mr. Crawford. He handed out a sheet of paper that said how back in ancient Greek, how they like taught how to have a healthy conversation. Like, I listen to you, I listen, I process, I get a rebuttal response, a thoughtful one, and by the end of it, we should come to like a healthy conclusion. We don't have to agree, but we both listen to each other, and we didn't yell because we don't have to. We understand each other, right? And like, I feel like we need to teach how to communicate, because I don't know about you, but no one ever taught me how to conduct a healthy discussion. Nope. And I don't know. I think that would help. Well, I think it's a little too late now. The cat's already out of the bag with that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's an unsolvable problem at this point. But how do you feel about like promoting, like, in a public space? Like, isn't technically school a government place? Like, if it's a public school?
Public schools are technically government institutions, or funded by governments, I believe. Yeah.
So you think you don't want them to influence them, like the children, one way or another? Because imagine if you run a Republican state and you're funding schools that are teaching liberal things that are inherently going against you, and not giving like an even teaching of the viewpoint of history.
I mean, they're just going to give you the money. They aren't going to regulate how things are taught, or who they're taught by, or what is taught. I mean, they will regulate what is taught to an extent.
Well, yeah, but they can't control.
But not the lens.
They don't control what the teacher's saying. That's what I'm saying. But But should they? I guess no.
No.
All right. So, like, what would you expect then?
I would expect. Well, what do you mean? Like, just in terms of schools?
Like, in giving opinions, like me, I'll give you mine then. Like, when I come to class, I'm not trying to. We could discuss the topic, I guess, but we're not trying to give like what we think about politics, though. Like, I'm just trying to learn. Like, I'm coming to government class to learn how the government works, not to take sides. Because, frankly, most of us are uninformed and we're not qualified to give opinions. And we cannot teach each other if we're yelling at each other, for one. Or two, we don't know the information. And if you're a student, like, the only person that should be talking really is like before you even know the stuff is the teacher. Like, you really can't talk about the stuff if you haven't finished the class, really. I don't know, that's how I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, students should have a place to talk.
Shouldn't be school though. I feel like school just like
I don't care where it is. They should have a place to talk. It's just they need to know the times when they should be talking, and the times when they should just let the teacher teach, or the presenter present, or the person who is in power, in whatever state of authority, just let them do what they're there to do.
And I think this goes back. School is too encompassing of our lives. It's 8 hours a day, plus like any other teams that you're on, like any clubs you're part of. If school is becoming so part of our lives that we have to bring all our stuff to school, like all our opinions. You got to bring all the dirt from home. Like, this is I think like school should be a place that you like go for maybe like 5 hours out the day and learn something. Because when you really think about it, most of the time you're at school, you're not doing anything. So if we make school less all encompassing, we could leave some of that stuff at the door and not be so personal with this stuff and just actually learn something. I feel like it'd be a more productive environment. We're not like
we'd be more efficient with our
like we don't need to make. Don't give me study hall. That's a waste of my time. I could be at home doing something that I want to do, and don't try to like shove your agenda down my throat. I just came here to learn. I'm tired of it, really. I'm tired of getting the class derailed by having these political discussions. I don't care what you think. I really don't. Like, I mean, I care what you think, but I didn't come here to learn that. I want to learn about
what you think. I'm gonna call you up on the street and be like, "Hey, what you think about this? Let's talk about this."
So, like, places to talk would be on a podcast or with your friends.
At a coffee shop. Just talk with your friends when you can talk with your friends, but don't try and force it down people who just don't care.
Like, you can't pray inside of a classroom during school hours because it influences and legally it influences or promotes like a religion over another one.
I mean, you just can't get caught.
Well, yeah, you just can't get caught. Like, so I think it should be the same with that. Maybe that's too strict on freedom of speech, but I think the spirit of that should be followed in school.
Who's to say what freedom of speech really is? It's been interpreted so many different ways by so many different people that adding your own take on it is not that big a deal. I
mean, ultimately, none of this stuff that probably will happen. We'd probably be insulting each other because this culture is a polarized one. I think that's just the best word to say it. Yeah, I think that's enough of that. I'm very unsatisfied with this week. But I want to talk about victories and vengeances. This week has been a rough one. And I got a vengeance. Well, I'm about to strike audio vengeance in all these people, right? They have these students that keep disrespecting these teachers in class. And I'm tired of it, son. So I'm in math class. And she's assigning us work. And she was like, you could do work or whatever, and like it was group work, so you can kind of like do it at your own leisure. And she was like, "Can I study for my civics test or whatever?" And she said, "No." She said, or whatever.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like, "Well, no, I got next class." He said, "No, do your math work." And like, "Well, I'm not doing this. I got a test next class." And they just kept going back and forth. And then she just, "Well, all right." Then teacher's like, "You cannot do other people's work in my class." And he's like, "Well, I'll just leave then." "Well, all right, go to Mr. Jackson's office." "All right." And then like, come on. And then another time yesterday, it was in English class, wanted her to read the passage. She said, No, I'm not reading that. Wait, what? No, I'm not reading it. I'll present, but I'm not reading it. And then you ask the next person, do you want to read? No. And then, like, does anyone want to read? Like, what?
I get not wanting to read, but if the teacher asks me, I'll be like, I don't want to read, but since you asked.
No, people, like, they're presenting this. Like, they're supposed to be presenting this passage and you don't want to even read it. Like, come on.
Wait, no, yeah, if it's part of your assignment, if it's a thing that you're presenting, reading it will give everyone it.
And then,
there's a reason they ask us to do these things.
Yesterday in English class, it was so despondent. Like, they had no energy in the classroom because I don't know what it is. I think, is it really the election thing that got people down that bad even 3 days afterwards? Like, people are just so down in that class. And I'm like, no one want to do anything, no one want to participate, and everyone was just gloomy. It's like my energy away. It was just crazy. In math class, people were like, person said, you said we could use a calculator in this test. And she was like, no, you can't use a calculator in this test. But at the beginning of the year, you said you use a calculator test. And he said, well, no, you can't use one in this test. But the calculator at the beginning. And they kept going back and forth. And like, she kept saying, no. I'm like, shut the hell up, dude. We're not using a calculator. You don't need it. Oh my God, I just hate people. Like, why do you insist on being ignorant like this? You don't need a calculator. You're dealing with like graphs. You don't need a calculator. It's just simple factoring, you idiot. You're not even gonna use your freaking calculator anyway. I don't know. People are just so disrespectful for the teacher. Like, do you have no home training? I don't know. I thought I was bad.
Well, that's because we were raised in a society where if we just complain just enough, we'll eventually get our way.
Yeah, I've been working for the most part. I say that.
Yeah, that's too bad. Because when it doesn't work, we get situations like that.
And then they'd be like, Miss such and such is a bitch. She didn't let me use a calculator on a test. Oh, no.
Unless she said everybody can use your calculators except for you, dumb person. I was about to say a name.
Whatever. I got a victory though. Only got one.
Of course.
Completed my Leaf Cream Pokedex, which I said earlier, and that's pretty much it. This week hasn't been the greatest. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much been it. I dunked a tennis ball in front of people, so I felt good.
No ladies?
No ladies, all men, sweaty men. Do you have anything good to happen this week? Or?
Not really. I mean, I had a neurology appointment Wednesday.
For what? What is that?
My brain.
Well, I mean, what about it though?
I've been having a lot of headaches recently, so I wanted to get it checked out and see if it was anything important. But we wait there for it was like a $35 copay or whatever, and we wait in the waiting room for like an hour and a half. And then he finally calls me up after like 3 families that had gotten there after me got in before me. So the whole system was kind of messed up. And then I sit down for like 3 minutes. He's like, "What's the problem?" "I have headaches." "Okay, we're gonna schedule some X-rays. You can leave now." It's like, this couldn't be handled over the phone for free.
X-rays? This is soft tissue, buddy. What are you talking about? We need some
not X-rays, CAT scans.
Okay.
My bad. MRIs. But it's like, we couldn't do this over the phone for free instead of making me wait here for 3 hours, have my mom pay $35 and miss school. Like, this whole system is just...
I don't like the medical system from the front door to the back end. I don't like it at all. I think it should all be free. Because if you really think about it, it's not like a monopoly, but it's like they already have like a whole... Like, everyone's already a customer because everyone gets sick. Like, it's kind of like a... I don't know.
I understand needing to make money off of it because a lot of the stuff is going to take... Like, the machines are going to take money to make and maintain and all that.
That's what taxes are for.
Yeah, that's what taxes... Maybe you pay a little bit for health insurance or something to cover the extra, but it shouldn't be... You shouldn't have to sell a liver to get your kidney repaired.
Yes, I shouldn't pay an arm and a leg to fix like a gunshot wound. I feel like that's unfair. Yeah. I didn't shoot myself. Well, maybe I did. Maybe one of these days.
I hope not.
How do you feel about assisted suicide? I didn't prepare this. I just thought about this out of nowhere. What
like
do you?
The doctors euthanizing. I mean, if it's all cool, if the patients accept it and the doctors accept it and the patient's family is either okay with it or not made aware of it. Like if the two people that are involved in it are consenting adults.
All right.
Much like
playing 2-player games, right?
Yeah,
right.
If everyone's consenting.
Like, you playing Smash Brothers, but you got him strapped down, you beating him relentlessly because he can't really play because his fingers are taped together. Then you got a problem.
Yeah.
Because you just kidnapped that little boy for no reason. Anyways, you want to move on to anything else before we get to Waterworld?
So this game Planet Explorers was released on Steam, like Wednesday, Thursday.
You playing it?
Tuesday. No, I haven't been playing it. I don't have the money. But my cousin sent this to me like a year or so ago, when it was like just on console or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been wanting us to review it for a while. So.
How much does the game cost?
It's like $25.
25. I still gotta buy The Witcher 2.
Yeah, that's a problem.
You have the game?
No.
Well, do you know the difference between the enhanced edition and the regular edition? Is there a DLC in this game, or?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna get the one that has the best cover. I like the one with the crown on it.
I'm just gonna get whichever one my wallet can handle.
Well, if you go on Amazon, the difference is like $11 and $19. So.
Oh well, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that could be a game of the month in December, maybe.
No. I mean, I'll play it as soon as I can.
Yeah.
As soon as I can. So if I'm able to get the money this month for if you said it's on console, right? Like 360 PS3 or.
I'll check.
Please don't be on the one. I don't have one money.
No.
Well, I'll definitely review that for. Like, what does he want? Like a video review, a written review? Does he?
He wants us to review it like on the podcast, since that's all we've done so far.
I'll
Windows, Linux, and Macintosh. So it's PC.
PC only, but I thought you said 2 years ago it was on console.
I don't know. I messed up. That was on me.
All right.
2 years ago it wasn't on Steam, but now it's on Steam.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see what I could do. Anything else?
The Witcher 2 is what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, yeah, nothing else.
I watched a movie called Waterworld. It's the movie of the week, and I watched the whole thing. I watched the theatrical version, which was 2 hours and 15 minutes. The extended cut is like 2 hours and 56 minutes, which I am happy I watched the theatrical version. I feel like if I couldn't watch another 30 minutes of a movie, I could not watch another 3-hour movie. I just can't do it anymore. I'm going to go insane. But
it was 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
And it was PG-13. There was a lot of killing, and it came out in the 90s. Got a 6.1 on IMDb.
Wow, that's surprisingly good.
Again, I ask, what is the expectation with movies? But I'm going to I'm gonna read the summary, right? After the melting of polar ice caps, most of the globe is underwater. Some humans have survived, and even fewer still, notably the mariner, have adapted to the ocean by developing gills. A loner by nature, the mariner reluctantly befriends Helen and her young companion Enola as they escape from a hostile artificial island. Soon, the sinister smokers are pursuing them in the belief that Enola holds the key to finding the mythical dry land. And what I have to ask about that is that I don't get why they call it the dry land, because that assumes that there's a wetland somewhere that they know about.
Is water,
so where's the land? Like, how do they know about land is my question. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever.
It's like the worst movie. It's one of the worst movies of the last few decades.
From what standpoint?
Yeah.
From what standpoint?
From purely cinematic snob.
No. Like, what don't you like about it?
What? Oh, I'm just talking about what people have said about it.
Well,
because I didn't have the patience for it.
How far you got into it?
Real quickly.
How far you got into it?
Like 30, 40 minutes.
Okay. I forgot exactly where that's at.
I can't remember. I think it was before he drank his own urine. Or at least on screen.
Well, like that was like the first scene, right? You open up and he's peeing inside of a cup.
Oh right, yeah.
I don't get why he didn't hold it to his penis because like you have a high chance of. It's not like a toilet when it's like you have to aim at it. Like he's electing to aim and has a chance to miss. Like it's like a layup versus a 3-point shot. I want to take the layup. Like this dude's shooting threes over there. He's very confident. I say that. But I love the movie though. I like the action.
You liked water? Okay.
I just don't. I mean, if you point out some flaws and why I shouldn't like it, I'll happily take it.
I'm not going to point out why anyone shouldn't like something.
But
like with Trump, you just let it go.
Oh man, Waterworld's Trump. Oh, my bad, man. But I like the violence. Had a lot of killing and very little blood. I like the world. As a little kid, I was enamored with water, and I would love to live. Like I always wanted to live in Venice, right? Like the streets are water, like that's a part of the landscape. I always wanted to be that, and I also wanted to be a Blastoise, so I could swim underwater, much like the Mariner. He has gills. That's what makes him special. But what I don't get in the movie in terms of plot, so the Mariner is a loner, like we said, and he has gills, so he can swim underwater forever. But he is like persecuted for that. For having something that's beneficial to him,
yeah.
And he's considered subhuman for having all he is a human with gills and webbed feet.
So if anything, he's
I'm not gonna say if he's above or below, but he has an extra characteristic that makes him like he evolved. He basically the next step in evolution. But this goes back to what I'm saying, like how I know what land is, because it takes a little while to evolve to gills. I don't want to say.
Oh well.
I would also want to know where's his family.
Dead.
Probably.
But, okay, so a lot of people's problems. This movie cost $200 million to make.
Well, yeah. I mean that makes sense because there's a lot of metal, a lot of ships, and
that did not make sense to a lot of people back then. That's apparently what the big controversy is. Because Roger Ebert gave it 2.5 stars out of 3.
He's usually kind of lenient, right? Fair.
Well, he's one of the most respected film critics. So yeah. I mean,
oh, what else though? Just the big budget. I have no problem with the big budget. You're trying to make something good.
No, that was the biggest problem apparently.
I still. It bothers me. Like when I walk into a movie theater, I do not care like the politics of how much money they spend or what actor got snubbed from the movie that should have probably been in it.
Maybe seeing Kevin Costner pee in a cup in the first little bit of the movie was what people didn't like.
But that should be like set your expectations. Like in some movies, like
oh, he's peeing in a cup. I know where this is going.
Like I know that this movie is going to just be dumb fun. Probably
it can only go up from here.
I'm talking like you're not expecting like a masterpiece or like a artistic film or a commentary.
Citizen Kane.
Yeah, I'm not expecting a commentary on the human experience to be to use my critical words.
So what you're saying is this isn't art.
I mean, it is art.
It doesn't penetrate the human condition.
I mean, it does, just in a different way. It's not a commentary on it. It's just speaking to. I don't even think it's. I mean, it might speak to something if you like reach for something, but I just like the action and me being entertained is part of the human condition. I would say. I mean, it's a very important part. I'd rather sit through an entertaining movie that has very little to say about my life, but it was fun to watch, rather than watch a 3-hour documentary talking about answering all the questions of my life that was a complete bore to watch, or watch The Godfather, which was just maybe a little too long.
Just a little.
Just an hour too long. But going back to the Mariner, I really like this character. He has like he's typical. He's not like anything crazy. He's just the loner that eventually opens up by the end of the movie and becomes somewhat loving. So I mean, it's a trope, I guess, but I don't mind. It was executed well. It was not poor. It wasn't fantastic, I guess, but it was good.
It was strictly average, I guess, or it was passable.
I like him also because he's very crafty and strong. He's like like a superhero almost. Like he always finds a way to get out of situations, and that might be another like gripe that people have about the movie, that he always finds a way to get out of like like he defies death in so many ways. But my thing is, he's not invincible though, because like in the first 30 minutes, he needed Helen to save his life because he's about to drown like in a pool of like diarrhea or something. I don't know what that was. How did he? I guess it's diarrhea because there's no mud in the middle of the ocean. So gross.
What do you mean there's no mud in the middle of the ocean?
There's no dirt to make mud.
On the bottom of the ocean there is.
So so you think they went to the bottom of the ocean to get dirt? I mean, he did do that in one scene.
This movie is really dumb, and you're expecting me to like justify things.
In one scene, he gets Helen into like a little bubble, so it has like air on top, but her feet are still like in the water. So he brings her down to like the bottom of the floor, of the sea floor, and that's where all like the land used to be, like cities and stuff. And he grabs like some dirt and shows it like there's not really dry land here because all of it's under the water. So that makes me think that the ice caps melting and the whole world being submerged is not recent. Again, how do you know what land is then? And why are they searching for land?
Maybe they live forever.
But anyway, they do go down. They do acknowledge like there's dirt under here. So maybe, and they were exchanging dirt for currents for like they're trading dirt basically. That was one currency they used. What's the use for dirt? I guess for potting plants, which they did have. And that was also a very valuable thing. Like the world was kind of like it was deep for like a 2-hour movie. It was very deep.
Oh, that's good.
I like it. To say like it was just you're just out on the ocean, I felt like it was pretty good. I like the scene where Helen takes off her clothes and offers herself to the mariner. Not for the same reason as everyone else. I like it because
you put it that way.
I like it because the mariner turns her down, and I'm like, I was going into, I'm like, please turn her down and say that, and please be why. Like the reason be that I'm doing it because you don't really want me. You're just trying to stay alive. And he turns her down and just like whatever, stay on my boat. And later, like an hour later in the movie, he reveals that like Helen asked him why he didn't like have sex with me right then and there. It was because you didn't really want to have sex with me. I'm like, man, that's really honorable, and I can relate to that because that's something that I would do. I wouldn't just.
Is that though?
I wouldn't like do something out of impulse, and like that.
Wouldn't you though?
Not really.
Have you ever been in that situation?
Yes, actually.
Have you ever been in like the end of the world and a woman wants to sleep with you?
Well, not the end of the world, but
I'm just saying, give things time.
But I'm saying like I like that he's very not that, even you explaining it like that makes him even a stronger character to me. That he wouldn't act out of impulse, and maybe that goes back to him not trusting Helen in the beginning and still being like I think like there's some depth of character there that I really liked. The villains came off like the only gripe I have is that the villains came off as a little cartoony. So like at the end, the guy was like when he like the girl got stolen away from him again. He was like no, like a cartoon character. Like he was very cartoony in the way he failed. But besides that, I thought they were pretty vicious. I didn't know like this was like at times a kid movie though, because Waterworld it seemed like such like a kiddish like going into it, I thought it'd be like for kids. But like I'm watching it's like okay. Like in kid movies, you kind of get away with killing people in a subtle way. I'm like, no, this guy took a harpoon to the stomach and there's blood coming out the other side. Okay, maybe this is not for kids.
Are you sure? I'd show that to my 5-year-old nephew.
Well, I mean, I'll show anything to my 5-year-old, but the society doesn't want you to do that, Sam.
Dang.
I mean, I guess I found out it really wasn't for kids when the girl got naked. So, anyways, I already went over that. So how do you feel about the little bit that you saw, though?
It was... I mean, for having a reputation as a really bad movie...
It doesn't deserve it.
Not from what I saw. I mean, it was bad. I couldn't sit through it. But maybe that's just because I've had a really terrible week.
That's probably why. You probably just need time to reflect. Like, the way you interpret anything, really, is dependent on your current experience. So it's like what you're in the mood for. So, like, I'm not always in the mood to play an RPG because I just do not feel like sitting down and being invested for a long period of time. And that doesn't mean the game's bad. Doesn't mean the game could not hold my attention. It's that I couldn't hold its attention. And I mean, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that you just gotta give it time. And like you're just not ready for it yet.
Yeah.
Not saying that the movie is going to be good in your eyes once you do watch it.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, if you ever have time, I think it's worth giving it a second chance. But one thing, you remember did you see the part when the old man flies away in like the little aircraft thing by accident?
I don't think so.
So Helen, her little companion, and the old man were basically living together, and the old man like fell on a switch and basically got carried away by an aircraft that they were creating to escape, I guess, one day. And in the very like next cut, the smokers, which are the villains, like some rogue group of people, like they were raiding the little island that they were on. So they were shooting stuff, and like the next cut was like something from the sky or something high off the ground was getting shot down. Like, man, he died that quick. So I just put it in my head, okay, he's dead, in my head. And like 2 hours or hour and a half later, we see him come back when after the scene where Helen and the mariner are pretty much left for dead because their ship is broken apart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they tricked me. I think they did that on purpose. I mean, it might have been an accident, something dumb, but they definitely got me because I thought he died in the beginning of the movie, which was cool. The ending was pretty much satisfying. Everyone pretty much came out alive, all the main characters, and yeah, I liked it. It was a nice little movie.
Cool.
So the all-stars of this movie was Kevin Costner as the Mariner, Jean Tripplehorn as Helen, Tina Majorino as Enola, Dennis Hopper as Deacon, Michael Jeter as Old Gregor. So Kevin Costner, his other great movie, Dances with Wolves. Jean Tripplehorn.
Or Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
No. Jean Tripplehorn, A Basic Instinct. Now, I already seen the best scene of this movie by accident because,
Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone, the blonde lady uncrossing her legs.
Oh, that's this movie?
Pretty sure.
That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the scene. I was talking about the half rape scene that I didn't understand. Like, it was like, it seemed at some point she was kind of into it, and then at some point she was like, "No, I don't want this."
Don't know where you're going out of your way to see accidental rape scenes.
I wasn't trying to find rape scenes. I do not like. I feel uncomfortable watching that.
Sure.
But I just wanted to see what other stuff Jean Tripplehorn was in, and I might scroll down like a couple pages.
Just a bit too far.
Now on the page for Google, might saw something I didn't want to see. I mean, so that's that. It's like an erotic thriller. That's
the one where she uncrosses her legs.
Yeah. Tina Majorino was in Napoleon Dynamite.
That'll be fun.
Dennis Hopper was in Speed,
and Super Mario Bros.
Well, Speed that movie with Keanu Reeves when like the bus won't stop moving, so he has to keep driving it so it won't crash.
Keep driving it at a certain speed, yeah.
Yeah, like 76 miles per hour, something like that, something crazy. But I think that's an interesting movie. And Michael Jeter was in the legendary The Green Mile.
Okay.
All right. So which one of those that you want to pick?
I'm fine with any of them. I've seen Dances with Wolves and The Green Mile before. So, I don't know if you want to cut off.
This time I'm going to do this one. How long is Speed?
Speed is 1 hour 56 minutes.
Alright. How long is Napoleon Dynamite? Because I haven't seen that movie either. But if it's like, what is Napoleon Dynamite, like a comedy or something, right?
Yes, it is a comedy.
Do I want to laugh today?
It's a very dry comedy.
Oh, that's my type of humor.
An hour and 36.
Oh, we're doing Napoleon Dynamite. Thank you very much.
You don't want to sit through 3 hours and 1 minute of dancing.
Oh my god!
It is worth 3 hours though.
What's it about?
So you got this not a Native American. You got a Civil War veteran, John Dunbar, played by Kevin Costner, who goes to defend a remote Western outpost, and he befriends wolves and Indians
No, we're not.
And he takes a
No.
bite of a deer heart or a buffalo heart. Buffalo heart.
You know that YouTube channel Movie Clips or whatever.
No.
Where they show
Oh,
like
yes.
like the short clips. Like I'll watch that version, like the 10-minute total version of that movie. Like I'm not trying to sit through 3 hours and 1 minute of one. Like it's probably only gonna be him talking, and when the second best character is Wolf number 3. Like I don't want to see
It's
that.
got some pretty fun violence.
I don't suppose, but we could watch Quentin Tarantino if I want to watch violence.
True.
So I guess Napoleon Dynamite it is. Was this a made-for-TV movie? Was it like Good Burger or something?
No.
I think Good Burger was in theaters. But I guess Napoleon Dynamite it is. Is there anything else that we should go over in terms of movies?
No.
Any new movie news? You went over Doctor Strange before, right?
Yeah.
So we did that. I think that's that.
Yeah.
What's going on next week? What's the tentative plans?
Try to stay alive.
Try to stay. That's a good one. That's a great one. Are you scared of anything that might happen this week?
No, because I'm a straight white male and I'm the problem. So
You're not the problem. Like
I know I'm not the problem.
Not
but can we go back to politics for just 1 second?
Yeah.
You've got Hillary had a lot of celebrities supporting her, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was like most of her support. One of them was Lena Dunham.
Who's that?
She's a third wave feminist person. She's the kind of person that thinks they shouldn't have guns in the Jason Bourne advertisements, and you shouldn't have male superheroes or supervillains fighting female superheroes because that's domestic violence.
That's not domestic violence.
It's not at all. But she released a thing a couple weeks ago, a couple days before the election, that what do you think about the extinction of white men? And like the opening line is, white men are a problem. Straight white men are the real problem. And it's like, if that's the person that's supporting you, I kind of understand why a lot of dumb straight white men went to Trump.
But in the same vein, I could see why a lot of like minorities would go Democrat, because you got David Duke supporting Trump.
Yeah,
so,
I know. Like nobody had anything. Everybody just stop letting people support you. Just do it on your own.
I'm not gonna
merits.
say that, but there's just a lot of radical people, and like most people are in the middle.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know.
And David Duke got, what was it, 60,000 or 600,000 votes to be on like the Louisiana Senate.
Jeez, I don't know.
I'm not saying there's a race problem, to quote Jacob Fillinger, but David Duke got 600,000 votes.
You know,
in the Louisiana
he
Senate
had.
race.
I'm pretty sure he has all his own merits beside the Ku Klux Klan thing.
Probably not.
He's probably a great guy, a great family man who likes having a Negro hanging barbecues.
I mean, great family man by whose standards?
You know, back in the day, they used to hang like black people, but it was like at family events. It wasn't just like lynchings.
Yeah, it was fun. It was for fun.
God,
Like we hang piñatas now, except they would beat them for candy.
jeez.
So fun times. I'm really, really glad we live now.
What a world we live in. I'm not scared, because I think at any time probably wouldn't be scared. Besides like bubonic plague times, I guess. Like even in slavery, I probably wouldn't like slavery. But I feel like I could carve out a niche for myself in any time period and be safe.
I don't know. You're big and African American, so that might put you at the top of some people's lists.
Ugh. Oh, I'm gonna be like the guy in Pulp Fiction that just gets wrecked.
Or like Michael Clark Duncan in The Green Mile.
Oh, wait. I haven't watched that movie in a long time. How long is The Green Mile now? I'm thinking about it. Please be less than 2 hours. Movie less than 2 hours.
It's not less than 2 hours. I can
Less than
almost
2.5?
guarantee you that.
2.5?
3 hours and 9 minutes. It's longer than Dances with Wolves.
Good God damn. What? Can you just make...
Good cinema's long, man.
We need to have an initiative. Like, if your movie is we need to have cut your movie in half. If you cut your movie in half and it's less than an hour and a half, like if it's less than an hour and a half but more than an hour, you need to break it up in two.
Well, this was back in 1999 when you had movies like The Titanic, which was released before 99. I understand that.
And watching Titanic is like a day event.
It came out in like 4 discs or whatever, 4 VHS tapes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was back in the time of long blockbusters.
We talking about the 90s?
Yeah, 90s, 80s, 80s, 90s.
Well, they had long block.
3 hours, 14 minutes.
For what?
Titanic.
If that movie, if you ever see that movie on TV, like you're there forever, because
they've got the 3 hours and then like 2 hours of commercial breaks when you make it proportional.
It's like watching an NFL game today. Like you're there forever. Like there's more commercials than are like actual playing.
Yeah, pretty much.
How do you feel about the NFL season thus far?
It is crazy. Nobody is where I thought they would be.
What do you mean?
Like the Vikings started out great and now they're on a downward spiral. The Saints started off really bad and now they're on an upward trajectory. So a lot of people, and by a lot of teams I mean 2 of them, are kind of flipping expectations.
My dad thinks the Saints could go undefeated for the rest of the season and finish at 12-4. Like,
I mean, they could.
Our schedule is easy, but we got the Broncos next, and
the Broncos aren't doing too hot right now.
Yeah, but all we have is Drew Brees and sometimes the running backs. But Von Miller, you know what he likes to do? He likes to sack people.
He does.
Yes. And I feel like that's going to happen about like 3 or 4 times this game. But the offensive line is like been pretty good this year. The only team I've been watching closely is the Saints. And when I get frustrated watching them because their defense, the players are not bad themselves. Is that whoever's telling them, like the defensive coordinator, they're
not being put in the right positions to succeed.
They're playing like on Madden. They're playing like the cover 2 zone when all you gotta do is just like blitz. Like last week, if you blitz Colin Kaepernick, he can't throw that fast. He's the person that takes like 5 seconds and he's staring at the guy and he still throws an interception. That literally happened last week. He was staring like straight at the guy and he threw it, and all the linebacker had to do was take 2 steps to the right and he caught the ball
and returned it for pretty good yards.
Like I don't know, and it took him all the way to like the middle of the 3rd quarter to actually start blitzing this guy, and immediately they got 3 and out. But to talk about the Broncos though, I feel like they're a team that can't get to 28 points. And I think that's what you're gonna need to do to beat the Saints when they're rolling, because they could like most of these games. I think they're scoring at least like low 30s if you're playing against, like depending on the game. I got a couple games where it's like under 30, but
yeah, they just have to start rolling.
Hopefully, Mark Ingram, like I think it was 3 weeks ago against the Chiefs, when he got the ball punched out of him. Yeah, and he fumbled. Like, hopefully he keeps that momentum from last week. Like, he seems angry about that because he wasn't starting the last 2 games, I think. Or no, just the last game.
Just one.
Yeah, and then he got the ball punched out of him again, like in the Seattle game, I think. So he stopped starting. Hopefully he used that again, because he rushed for like 150, had like 200 total yards with the receiving and all that.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic because I want to see a playoff game with the Saints, because when the Saints go to playoffs, everyone here is happy. Who cares who's the president? You could have all the racist people in the world. Everyone comes together to watch the Saints play. Drew could be the next mayor if he wanted to.
He's not going to do it.
I'm just saying he could if he wanted to. And then you can see politics is really a popularity contest. Anyways, I don't think I have anything else to talk about.
Nope.
So I'm good. So do all that good stuff you're doing. Twerk on that like button. Help people say, right? Twerk on that like button.
I think that's what they say, yeah.
Yeah, and have a nice day.